So here is Eton on day 37. Kind of part of our routine is I stand in there and feed him breakfast and dinner. So he's progressed a lot because he would first only want to eat without me in the stall, and then he would take a couple of bites and go stay in the corner, and now he's starting to eat from me, so that's kind of a big start. He does eat some Grow and Win, some Ultimate Finish, and then as well as some Equate, which are some great Buckeye feeds. The Equate is specifically designed for the gut, and been treating him for ulcers as well, so his appetite's increased, and he's starting to look and starting to gain a lot more weight, which is good. And it's really good to spend the time with them and use the feeding times for benefits. And so you can start to already see there's a big change, and kind of get right into it, working on getting in a little bit of his bubble. But we're already much better. And I'm working on just placing my hand and waiting for him to soften. So kind of what can happen is the energy from your hand and touching them can make them really tense. So I do a lot of work of using my hand to touch to get him to relax. And then you saw he was kind of like biting the air. He's had some clicker training, and sometimes what he can do is when he is tight and tense and he thinks he is supposed to get the treat, he will kind of bite the air like that, and I just ignore it. He does not get rewarded when he's that way. So now I'm sending him to the left. This is much better. He's getting already soft through the rib cage. I can ask him to send without him doing his Fred Flintstone move. Then I can ask for the disengage of the hind end so I can get 2 eyes. This is really important. I feel for getting body control, getting the hind end to move away from you, as well as it helps with horses that have the tendency or can bolt, which Eton can do. And then it gave him a good minute here. He was really licking and chewing and seemed like he needed some time to really process. You see he's starting to get a lot more horizontal in his neck. He's got the leg cocked. He's just starting to relax a little bit more. So now I'm going to send to the right. I can add a little bit more pressure. That's really good. So really big change for him. I can use my right hand as the directing hand. And then I disengage the hind end. That was really good. So then he got a reward, and he took that very politely. And I like to have a lot of tools. So I like to use a clicker training. I like to use pressure release. Basically, I like to do what will work for the horse and to help get them into thinking. So you could see he got pretty nervous right there, especially when both hands went up and with the rope. It's kind of in that scary spot. So then I just reward. He tends to like his face rubbed. He likes to have the voice reward as well. And then I go back to kind of fiddling with my rope. He gets him used to seeing things in his eye. And again, this is a really big change. And so now I can start to flip the rope. I've had a little rope work done on him. Working on having the rope that's touching him and connected to me. And again, you can see every now and then he tries to push me into a different position, into that left eye, and I just redirect a little bit. Just kind of holding my space. And then I'm able to flick the rope up over his bum. Again, messing around with the rope. Got a nice lick and chew right there. Now, I like to do this. It helped with my previous Mustang Dorado a lot. This is a good way to get them used to things touching their butt. And I like to use it especially on the sensitive horses and the ones that like to do the bolt, because I can have a little bit more body control, and I'm looking to get any type of softness off the rope. So here you can see he's trying to position and to switch, but I'm able to block. And then I can instantly soften when he releases, so that was really good. And give him a moment here. Then I'm going to go back to messing around with the rope. And get another lick and chew. Again, it's nice to be able to move around and do some things without him just losing his mind a little bit. So again, we're in the thinking, starting to think through some puzzles here. So he got a little nervous, got a little trot, but again, I had the pressure on the rope, and I'm just looking for that smidge of softness. I want just the littlest try is what I'm going to release to. And even though he's still pushing his haunches away, it's okay. He's still kind of slowing down for when I put pressure on with the rope, so that's what I'm rewarding. And yes, I did actually remember to put my gloves on today. I would like to probably wear them more often than I do, but I just forget. So, gotten pretty good at learning how when to let go and to try to minimize rope burn, but sometimes it happens. So now I'm going in, even though he's moving around, I'm going to go in and work on touching so I can get the release. So I want him to learn to relax to the touch, which before when I would touch him, he would really brace his whole body, and you could just feel that he was like electric. And so kind of what I'm doing is I want him to, when he feels my touch, to want to drop his neck. And I kind of missed an opportunity a little earlier than I released there, where he did drop a little bit, and I could have released a little earlier. Again, he tends to like me to touch the right side of his cheek. It's kind of a reward for him. So now I'm back over on the right side, working on getting those muscles to relax a little bit. His body has been so tight. So there, he got a little nervous. I'm going to hold my space. You see I keep my arm pretty straight so I can keep the bubble. There, I got a lick and chew. And then he kind of is, he's kind of enjoying the face scratch, but then he's not sure about it. You can just see him struggling with wanting to let go and then kind of reeling himself back in. There he is trying to do a reposition. I just kind of kept my hand there. And go back and touch, and I myself take a deep breath. It's really important to be calm, taking deep breaths so your energy is really low. There, I got a nice lick and chew. Another thing that I find really important, not only treating them for ulcers, but also as soon as I can get them pretty safe, I like to have my massage therapist come in and do the body work on them, because these guys have been through a lot. It's really important to get them to feel good. It really helps the body and mind. So I'm getting some good releases, getting him to relax his head. Just working on nice, soft energy. And again, this is the fun part, to see it start to kind of getting him to start to change, and seeing the little bits of him wanting to relax and to trust. There was a nice moment where he dropped his head. I'm able to move my hand down his neck. And again, this is a lot of just waiting game. It's just really working on keeping yourself centered and relaxed. That was a really good release. Dropped his head. So now I'm back to sending him to the right. And it's nice to, again, be able to add a little bit of pressure. So I've got my directing hand. And I see my rope. Adjust my rope, and he finds an opportunity right here. So, but I'm able to catch him. Reorganize my rope. Now I'm going to direct him with my right hand. Use the tail as my pressure. And also, I'm working on trying to keep my steps limited. So if I can direct him without moving my feet and get more control of the round pin, that's even better. Then working on the hind end to disengage. Took him a little bit there. Got a nice lick and chew. And there he sees something and he kind of tenses up. It's got him a little distracted. Ask him to step forward because he just locked up a little bit in his neck. And so you can see his head's kind of up and he's a little locked. So he's just a little flinchy now. So going to go back. Do a little bit just of the touch work. He dropped his head there, but he was still tight. So I rewarded the second one. Again, a lot of it's like on feel and kind of the energy. Feel like he's trying to turn in on me a little bit, so I use my two hands because I can feel his muscles are kind of hard as a rock there, and that was a better change. So I'm going to hold my space a little bit here to make a move out of the bubble. And it's important to, even building the trust, I don't want him on top of me, so if he does get scared at all, he still knows to respect a little bit of that space. Let me go back. The right hand. Rope up on the withers. That was pretty good. There he's dropping his head, which is a nice change. Again, this is really big for him. This is a lot of work for him to start to let go, and these little tiny increments is really fun to see. There was a nice lick and chew. He's coming a little closer. Then I went to direct. So I stick my left hand to direct, use the right hand as the pressure. And now I'm able to start to control the speed of the circle. And just keep directing when he goes to ask. and then get a nice yield. So really excited for kind of some of the developments that are happening today. This is really kind of the fun part of when you can start to see the glimpses of softness occur.